All right, so Al Green, representative, has been censured in the House. 10 Democrats voted for this, and The View is pretty pissed off. Next, we have a clip of Representative Slotkin talking about how Democrats want to cut funding, but have no plan. So do they actually really want to cut funding? How can you cut funding if you have no plan? Make it make sense.
So yesterday, the House voted to censure Green, which inspired this show of unity from some Democrats. Watch this.
Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
This is so dumb.
Oh, you like that, huh? It's touching, but it didn't unite them all because 10 Democrats voted to censure Green.
Wow. Do you want a list of the 10?
Do you want to hear their name?
Yes,
of course
I do.
It's Sonny.
Why go after them, too? Go after the Republicans.
Because they don't know how to fight and be part of an opposition party. Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not.
All right, here we go. Sonny again with a stupid take. So what the Democrats need to do is stop opposing everything that the current administration does. That's the problem with the Democratic Party, that they're opposing literally everything and it's putting them in like real weird positions. But the 10 Democrats that voted for Al Green to be censured were smart because at least they're holding a common standard for both parties. That's what it should be. You're supposed to be here in this house to represent the American people and fix stuff. This is not really supposed to be. It's not supposed to be about your party. You're literally elected here to solve problems for the American people. That's what you're here for. And I'm really tired of all this partisan stuff. You're supposed to come in and work together and compromise on issues. That's how you're supposed to do this stuff. You don't need to be only partisan. Everything is supposed to be bipartisan. I'm for Democrats working with Republicans and Republicans working with Democrats on common goals. As long as we can come to common goals, that's cool. But if you just oppose everything that the opposition does, you're never going to get anything done. And you're just going to make yourself look stupid. Sonny's wrong again. She's stupid. Like if I was a Democrat representative in the House, I would never listen to Sonny. If I was a smart Democrat, I would never listen to Sonny. Never. I would never listen to her. She's an idiot. She's a complete idiot.
Meeting the moment. It is very clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights. This generation of Congress, they are not meeting the moment. This is an existential crisis.
And also, I might point out, some of them are from the most liberal states like New York, Hawaii, California.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay,
They should have all walked out with him.
And three are from districts.
Here's a question. Where was all this talk about decorum from Republicans when Marjorie Taylor...
If I was a smart Democrat, I would never listen to her. If I was a smart Democrat who wanted to get things done for the American people, I would not listen to Sunny Hostin. She's a complete idiot. Doing things her way just leads to what the Democratic Party is now. Just opposing everything and being stuck in these weird positions where you support the 20% instead of going with the 80%.
Green was screaming at Biden. Okay. All right, now, you want to hear where they are? I'm going to read them. Amy Berra, Ed Case, Jim Costa, Lauren Gillen, Jim Himes. I would never have thought that. Chrissy Houlihan, Marcy Kaptur, Jared Moskowitz. What?
Yeah.
Marie Glusenkamp Perez from Washington and Tom Suozzi.
I think, respectfully, though, there's a lot of people who saw the outburst differently, including Democrats, which was, if you're going to protest and be an opposition party, do it with intentionality and make sure it works. Holding up signs, it's protesting, like, are they being advised by people who use, like, Windows 98? It's the most outdated, inconsistent.
Same voice.
To his point, I get his point on Medicaid,
Slightly more sane.
This mandate point, if Democrats are going to keep arguing, we only lost by X million of votes, That is not the winning message you guys think that it is.
He doesn't have a
But
mandate.
also,
Exactly.
Can I just tell you what Swazi said, why he voted?
How many votes do you need
for
win
him?
by to have a mandate?
This is Swazi's, he's a New York guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Both parties must hold themselves to the same standards we expect from the other side. See, they're going to a gunfight with a knife, as they say.
Therein lies the problem, you see.
Yeah.
Look, I like civility in Congress. And I think that when you are in Congress, we are not at a WWE wrestling match. This is not the House of Commons. This is the U.S. Capitol. The problem is that this is not happening in a vacuum. We all remember when Joe Wilson, the Republican congressman, stood up against Barack Obama giving a State of the Union and called him a liar.
Said you lied. Said you lied.
We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren.
Are we really bringing up stuff from like 10, 12 years ago? Are we serious? Right? Are we 15 years ago? Are we really bringing up stuff from 15 years ago? Y'all really don't have nothing? You don't have nothing else. It's like J6, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and what the dude at the, I was like in 6th grade. Who cares? That's so long ago. That's, you literally digging a hole for yourself. Because how many times has the left protested in the past decade?
Over the congressional hearings lately have devolved into shouting matches that are shameful. And frankly, like you, I have a really hard time being lectured by Republicans who are trying to whitewash and rewrite history, because if you didn't stand up against Donald Trump's pardon of 1,500 insurrectionists who have violated the Capitol like no other time in history, then you don't have the right to clutch your pearls and be all outraged.
Yeah, but they don't care.
Over a member.
J6 is really not as effective as they think it is. It really isn't. No one cares. Trump won. He won the popular vote. They won the House and the Senate. It was game over. It's game over. You really think if people thought J6 was that serious that they would overwhelmingly vote for the same party? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. I really don't.
Congress standing up. Yeah, but my bigger outrage is every one of those elected officials in that room was put there because of voters. They have a job to do, and what they keep doing is not doing their job. Censures are like a slap on the wrist, and all they want to do is it was him, it was her, it was this. They fight against each other rather than work with one another. We send them there to make legislation, to move the ball forward. Right now, we have an impending government shutdown coming up. That's coming up. 70,000 jobs at the VA. Military aid and intelligence sharing to Ukraine was just suspended. Those are problems that people care about. Stop fighting like little wieners in D.C. and start answering to your constituents. This censor stuff, even that we talk about, do we want it, who voted, who, this is all pathetic.
But doesn't the Republican Party, isn't that the party in charge of all these problems?
No, censorship is a stupid
Again,
thing.
Sonny again.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
talking about the cuts, the VA cuts.
Yeah.
Isn't that the Republican Party?
But what I'm saying is,
point
get
is
the work
use
done.
your
There's
power,
legislation.
though.
Stop singing in there. Stop holding up signs. Stop censoring the left and then the right and then screaming at each other.
Censuring.
You're
It's two
feckless.
different words.
I don't care. You're feckless. And what they're not doing is having more fun fighting with each other, putting on their partisan jerseys, than they are representing the constituents that voted them
And
there.
the votes will be there, the support will be there if they have a message that resonates with their constituents. And I want to play a quick clip, and it's no disrespect to Hakeem Jeffries, but this is what a losing message looks like.
What's wrong with y'all? We don't need to send paid protesters into your town hall meetings. The American people are with us.
Fire your social media person. There's no one behind you. Like, make it seem like people are with you. Make it seem like you want to be part of the team. But it seems like it's a lot of sign waving. It's disjointed messages. They can't decide what it is they're rallying around. And like this federal workforce, there are actual cuts that matter, like to the VA, like potentially to Medicaid.
That the Republicans are supporting.
I know, but instead they're messaging never fire a single federal worker.
Let's talk about what the Republicans are
think that
doing.
some people can be fired and that you can shrink government. Talk about the goods and services people won't
Frankly,
have if
I
you
think
make these
people
cuts.
have, I think Americans, for me, I worry a lot less about the protests that are going on in Congress, and I care a lot more about the protests that are going on at town halls and in the streets of America. Because I
Those
think
are
that
the voters.
if we want to develop a message, we are the ones that have to show up. Don't depend on your elected officials.
I might be ignorant to this, but I don't think she knows anything about town hall protests. Ain't no way she knows. Ain't no way.